going to look into the energy of the Aries full moon that is going to be on the 6th. We're going to just kind of get a collective overview of the energy, and then I will pull cards for each zodiac sign individually, and I'll have all of those timestamps in the description box. But this particular full moon is likely to be kind of an intense energy. So we're just going to kind of see what to expect and how to work with it and all that fun stuff. So do keep in mind, these are general readings. So on the reading aspect of it, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that it doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon rising or Venus placements, because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all that information in the description box. And I am also offering the Aries full moon reading from now through the 6th for $30. So if you're interested, just all the information is in the description box. So something to keep in mind with this particular full moon, it is in the sign of Aries, okay? So Aries is the energy of masculine energy, and that doesn't mean men, but it means masculine energy in the sense of your physical self, your drive, your energy, your boundaries, structure, all of those physical things, your work, how you're moving, all of those things. It's connected also to your sense of self and your sense of purpose, right? So this particular full moon, it brings a lot of focus to yourself and also how much you value yourself, how much you respect yourself, how much you make yourself and your goal a priority. Sorry. If you were born between 68 and I think 77 during that time period, you're going to have your Chiron placement in the sign of Aries, and that's the inner child wounds. And the Chiron in Aries placement is it's just kind of this overall sense of unworthiness. We also have Chiron in Aries right now, and so this full moon is really going to trigger those wounds if you haven't completely worked through them. And so it's really important during this period to really get in touch with yourself, what your goals are, what your needs are, what you need in your physical environment to feel safe and secure, and make that a priority. People that have Chiron in Aries tend to have difficulty in saying no. They tend to be people pleasers, and this is really going to kind of push that to help push you out of it. Also, the same would go if you had your Saturn placement in Aries. This is going to really affect you pretty intensely. The key to this energy is really being able to embrace your own independence, right? See the value in yourself, so you're not saying yes to things that you really don't want to say yes to. See the value, show respect for yourself. But also being able to do it in a way that you're not so fiercely independent that you don't let people in, right? Because relationships require some sort of working together, right? So you don't want to be so independent and so fiercely protective of yourself that other people can't get through, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Also, this energy has very strong potential to bring out toxic masculinity. And again, this is not simply, it's not just men, okay? We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. And so toxic masculine energy is being really aggressive, being really controlling, being really domineering, being very reactive instead of pausing to reflect before taking action. Toxic masculine energy can also show up as like a refusal to take any action, a refusal to take any sort of responsibility. So you're going to have to be mindful of that energy, not only within yourself, but within other people. This has a tendency to bring up a lot of anger, right? It has Aries is the god of war, okay? So you have to be really careful during this period that people are not like trying to project their anger and frustrations onto you. So you have to be really careful with your boundaries. Also, something to keep in mind is if you do find that this energy brings up a lot of frustration in you, that's kind of a cue to you that you have been in some capacity ignoring your own needs and ignoring your own desires and not putting up enough boundaries. So instead of like trying to find out where to direct that anger and who to be angry at, ask yourself, like, where do I need to make myself a priority more? Again, this has potential. If you tend to attract people in relationships that are either non-committal or the complete opposite, they're super controlling, you're attracting toxic masculinity, but that also means that you have a level of that within you. And so you have to kind of hone in and empower your own masculine energy a little bit more. So let's see collectively what energy this moon is going to bring up. Anything we need to be aware of on a collective level. Any messages that are wanting to come through for the energy that this full moon is bringing. Even though action is masculine energy, the actions we take are very much determined by what goes on in our emotional world. And so even though, you know, action and movement is a masculine energy, our feminine energy is in essence what is going to kind of direct that action, right? When we get overly emotional about something, or we have subconscious fears about something, that's going to reflect in how we take action in our life. And so even though this full moon is a very physical energy, it's a full moon, right? Which is, moon is emotional stuff. Moon is feminine energy. So it's like, it's kind of like, by knowing what goes on in your emotional world and in your subconscious and how that affects the actions that you take, you're going to be able to learn to master your feminine energy a little bit more. Or master your masculine energy more. And so we're kind of being guided collectively to kind of look at, because we have a tendency to like put ignore the subconscious stuff or put the emotional stuff on the back burner, right? But again, your subconscious world kind of, if I'm not mistaken, and I can't remember where I read it, it dictates like 95% of your experience. Everything that's going on emotionally, subconsciously, your fears, your insecurities, your daydreams, your fantasies, all of that is dictating how you're moving and also what you're attracting. So if you don't like what you are experiencing, it's important first and foremost to kind of be mindful of what is going on subconsciously, internally, emotionally, so you can understand like how that is dictating your actions and also your focus, what you're paying attention to, what you tend to focus on. The focus itself and the attention itself is masculine energy, okay? So pay attention to what you're always focused on, and then go a step further and ask how your feminine energy is affecting that. So for example, if your attention is constantly going to this one particular person in your life that really hurt you back in the day, right? And you keep focusing on that person and you keep dwelling on that person made you angry, right? And so your focus on that person is even going to make you more angry and more resentful, right? You're going to constantly be remembering how much that person hurt you. And then what that means is every step that you take is going to be from a very fiercely protective and a very guarded space. And it's going to make it difficult for you to receive anything, much less receive something of value. There's a really strong message to think, to pause before taking action, pause before reacting. It's funny because, again, this full moon is very masculine energy, but the way to get through this energy collectively and to work with this energy to the best of your advantage is to kind of like get out of your head, get out of that logical masculine kind of space, focus on what you're feeling and focus on what is going on in the moment and your energy from moment to moment. Aries energy is also about taking risk and taking initiative and being able to step in that leadership position, right? Because when we don't take that kind of leadership in our life, then we leave ourselves open to be controlled. We leave ourselves open to kind of be like dictated by fate, like whatever happens kind of thing, right? So if you don't feel confident in your own goals and your own desires, if you don't have a strong connection to what you feel your purpose to be, then your mind is always going to be scattered, right? And you're always going to, be manifesting like things that don't stick or things that don't feel connected to you. Let's see if we can get a little more clarity on this. Yeah, it's really funny because it's very masculine energy, this full moon, but the focus is on on the feminine energy. That's how you're going to be able to easily move through this. I kind of feel for a lot of you that you really have been in a place of growth, moving forward in your life in some capacity. And I feel like for a lot of you, you've been able to like disconnect from things that aren't making you happy. You've been able to master this space of like non-attachment, which is really good, right? You've disconnected yourself from things that were draining you. You've disconnected yourself from things that left you feeling confused. You've learned to kind of find that happiness within yourself. And honestly, I feel like for a lot of you, what this full moon is going to bring for you is that energy of people that are going to match your goals, match your loyalty. It's bringing in, it's kind of like ushering in healthy relationships, more solid partnerships. This energy is also going to show you who is loyal to you and who is not. So just be kind of mindful of that. You're being guided. Yeah, you're being guided during this period to focus on your feminine energy. What you're feeling, not so much the timing of things or the physical timeline, but more the cycles that have kind of been present. Pay attention to what you are allowing, right? Ideally, your own personal masculine energy is strong enough and grounded enough and protective enough that your feminine energy feels safe enough to be soft, to be loving, to be caring, right? Your masculine energy should be in such a place that your feminine energy doesn't feel like it's in survival mode, right? So again, even though it's a very physical energy, know that your emotional world is dictating this energy, right? Is dictating the masculine kind of like movement and desire, right? So take time to reflect on what is going on in your emotional world, what your emotional needs are, what the cycles that you notice continue to repeat. And also focus on healing the masculine energy within you. So let's see a little bit more. What is the energy that this is bringing for the collective? Ten of Swords, shit. What are you being guided to release? And what are the blessings? Okay. You've been in some sort of cycle for a really long time, some sort of cycle of something very painful, right? A cycle of constantly feeling like you're getting let down, but it's like whatever the cycle is, like it's like this is as bad as it gets, right? It's kind of like hitting this rock bottom. It's kind of showing very clearly what is not working and what you have no choice but to change. So what you're being guided to release is the cycles, right? The cycles that continue to repeat themselves. Again, don't look so much at the time. Don't look so much at the specific situations or specific people. Look at the cycle, the day-to-day cycles, the monthly cycles that you go through, right? And what are those cycles telling you? Because it's almost like, it's going to be like very painfully obvious what is holding you back. And it's showing you the truth in such a way that you have no choice but to act. I feel like for a lot of people, it's like it's asking you to kind of look back at this 8-year cycle. Look at the cycles that have repeated themselves over the last 8 years. And not just with people, but like with every situation. And so, for example, If you feel that you keep connecting to relationships that are hot and cold, or you keep connecting to relationships with people that are non-committal, you're probably not only going to see that in your romantic life, but you're going to see that in your friendships too. And you'll probably see it in your work in some capacity, right? And so when you notice that, then you go, okay, what is the core of this cycle, right? If you keep connecting to people that are non-committal or connecting to things that don't stay, then it's a sign that you're not asserting your own boundaries and expectations enough, right? If you feel like you keep going through periods where you feel isolated, then it's kind of a cue that you're not connecting to yourself enough. You're not making who you are such a priority that you have no issue reflecting that out to other people, right? When you go through a period of isolation, it's usually because you are in some sort of cycle where you're attaching your own identity too much to other people and how other people respond to you. So it's like whatever has been going on the past 8 years, it's asking you to kind of look at that cycle and say what has been working and what is not working. If it has not been working, don't keep doing it. Even if, like, I know this is a silly example of it, but I thought of this a couple weeks ago. My grandma used to get up at the same time every day and pray the rosary, like 10, 15, 20, like for a long time, like pray the rosary over and over and over. And she would say the same prayers over and over and over again. And it was a big joke in our family that grandma's prayers didn't work, because every time she would pray, like nothing would get better, things would get worse. And I kind of thought that when you're always praying the same thing over and over and over again, right? And you're not seeing anything change, that prayer kind of gets more into a routine, right? And it begins to feel like more of a chore, right? If you're getting up at the same time saying the same prayer, just like if you drive the same path back and forth to work every day, same time every day, after some time you just kind of disconnect from that drive because you've done it so much that it becomes like second nature, right? And so you're not really connecting to it, right? And I'm not saying that my grandma's prayers weren't working. They just didn't work in the way that people wanted them to work, right? But it just made me think that it probably became such a routine for her that she wasn't engaging in that time of prayer, right? And maybe she, this is a horrible, I shouldn't use her as an example because I love her to death, but like in that cycle, like maybe those prayers aren't working. Maybe try different prayers. And I'm just using this as an example. If you've been dealing with the same situation between you and another person, and you continue to do the same thing, you always reach out the same time every day to let that person know you're there, and they always give you the same response, and it pisses you off, then it's not working, right? And even though you might think, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to pray every day. I'm supposed to show this person that I care for them. But if that person is not valuing it, then what good is it doing, right? And if you don't feel any value for the routine that you're in, then it's not really serving a purpose. So really look back over these cycles and say, okay, this is working, this is not working. I have to quit doing it this way, right? I hope that makes sense. But this full moon is going to make it very obvious what's working and what's not working. So let's start with the zodiac. Let's start with Aries. What is the overall energy? This is good. So you're going to feel this, Aries, most intensely, right? This is your energy. So let's see what this energy is bringing for you. Oh, the dolphin is like, is profound healing. So just like in the collective reading, again, even though it's Aries energy and it's fire energy, what this is bringing for you is kind of that push to focus on your emotional world and your emotional healing. And also like your ability to just relax and have fun and be free and be yourself. What are you being guided to release? The stingray. I feel like you've been kind of on the verge of this change for a really long time. It's almost like you're being guided to release that fierce protection of your emotional world. Release the fear of being seen as too much or being perceived as too sensitive. I feel like you've been holding your emotional stuff in for a really long time, and it's kind of showing up as just feeling on edge and feeling really sensitive. And so I feel like you're being guided to, like, first and foremost, embrace whatever change that maybe you have felt uncertain about. And it's like release the hold that you have over your emotional world. Because you have the golden egg. It's like focus on, yeah, it's like focus on what is going on in your emotional world. This is going to bring like this slow down. It's almost going to be like a slow down energy for you. It's all emotional. I kind of feel like you've been like super tense, some of you, for a really long period of time. And maybe it's like a lot of tension while waiting for something to show up, while waiting for love to show up, waiting for abundance to show up. But what you're not realizing is the longer that you've been sitting in this space, it's created like a lot of tension. It's created a lot of resentment. A lot of like emotional stuff has built up. Let me see a little bit more. And it's like, I feel like you've been waiting for something for a long time, or wanting something for a long time, and you've been wanting this and working towards this for so long, and you're waiting, like you're waiting for something to show up, you're waiting for something to go wrong. And I feel like what you're not realizing is it's almost like you've built a fortress around yourself. And you haven't really tapped into your emotional world. And so this full moon is going to bring your emotional world to the surface. And it might be in an uncomfortable way. But it's asking you to listen to what your emotional world is telling you, what your heart wants. Not what you feel like you need to protect yourself from, but what your heart wants, what your soul wants. You've mastered Aries energy, right? You've mastered masculine energy. You've mastered boundaries, but it's almost like you've mastered it too much. And this is asking you to kind of pay attention to what's going on in your emotional world. And be willing to kind of like free that. Like, be willing to be vulnerable. Be willing to be open. Be willing to feel a little bit sensitive right now. Be willing to give yourself permission to cry even. Okay, what about Taurus? What is this full moon energy bringing for you? Yours is kind of a little bit of the opposite of Aries, which is funny. It's like you've done the healing. Yeah, it's almost like you've done the healing. You've gotten to, like, the peacock is saying, like, you should really be proud of yourself. This is bringing in an energy for you to be able to see your growth and how much you've worked through. Like, you should be really proud of yourself. And it's almost like you need to start showing that in the way that you present yourself to other people. Because it's almost like with Aries energy, it was like, hey, you're being a little bit too fierce, right? Let yourself soften up a little bit. But with you, it's the opposite. Like, you're being guided to release the need to always say things in such a loving, nice, polite way, right? You're actually being guided to be more selective with who you're letting into your world, who you're letting into your emotional world, who you're letting into your environment, who you're almost like, who are you kind of letting slide? Because it kind of feels like for some of you, this is showing you like power imbalances in relationship where you're the more mature one and the person that you're dealing with is not really on that same emotional maturity level. And it's almost like you give this person slack because, oh, well, they don't know any better, or they're just immature, or they have mommy issues or daddy issues or whatever. But it's not, it's becoming more of a parental thing, right? Like, stop giving people so much slack, because it's like the people that you're connected to, they're having a great time while you're kind of taking on all this pressure, right? And so this full moon is kind of asking you to be mindful of where you're giving up your power away. Like, you're taking on everybody else's shit and working through that and giving them credit for it because they're just a baby, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're innocent. They don't know any better. Well, just tell them better, right? Don't keep letting people slack, basically. Be more selective. Okay, what about Gemini? What is this energy bringing for you? It's showing you your magic. I feel like this energy is like showing you like a lot of like deja vu. Like, you keep feeling like you've been here before, or you've been through this experience before. And I feel like it's significant because it's telling you that there is a cycle that keeps repeating itself, but it's showing up in different people and different situations. And so you might not be like recognizing it right away. And that deja vu feeling that you're getting is because you have been there before in this lifetime. It's like the same cycle continues to repeat itself. It just shows up in different forms. But it's being shown to you during this period in a way that you will be able to see it and know what to do with it. I feel like for some of you, this energy is showing you like how magical you really are and what a powerful manifester you are, but I almost feel like it's going to initially show it to you in like a negative way. Like something negative shows up and you'll think that it was your intuition. Like, I knew this was going to happen, but that's also kind of showing you that that's how your mind space has been. And in some aspect, you manifested it because that's what you continued to assume was going to happen. Does that make sense? What are you being guided to release? Oh, I feel like it's like you're being guided to let go of like waiting for things to show up for you, or looking for answers and know that you already have it. It's like you're not waiting for something to show up for you. You're creating it. It's like you're the one that has the power to bring this into being. I also feel like for some of you, like you've gotten very comfortable in kind of like being in the background in a certain relationship, like waiting for somebody to make a move, waiting for somebody to do something, waiting for somebody to say something, waiting for somebody to get you. But I feel like this, like it's like we're done doing that. We're not going to wait in the background anymore. I feel for some of you, you're very intuitive. And this is kind of, it's like if you're waiting for abundance to show up for you, you need to know that you know what your gifts are. The more you share your gifts, the more you will see abundance flow because of sharing your gifts, sharing your insights, sharing your resourcefulness. Yeah, you're being shown like a new truth about yourself, a new you're being given like a new perspective of yourself. You're being shown how powerful your thoughts are and how powerful your words are. And so if you continue to say, when is my abundance coming? You're also saying, I don't have abundance. And that's what the universe is matching, right? And it's like this energy right now is showing you how powerful you are, how powerful your words are, how powerful your thoughts are. And it might show up by bringing you something that you didn't necessarily want, but you're realizing that you've been kind of speaking on that without realizing it, right? And so it's helping you to shift your perspective to focus more on what you do want moving forward, on growth, right? It's showing you how gifted you are. It's showing you how powerful you are. But it's like, it's also saying, now that you know that, do something with it. Not in a mean way, right? Okay. Cancer, what is the energy for you? You have a choice to make. You're at a crossroads. You have to make a decision in whatever this is. This full moon is bringing you a choice. I feel like that's what you need to know. You have a choice. You don't have to wait for things to completely fall apart before you can get the opportunity that you're looking for. It's like you're being guided to release the chaos. You're being guided to release the idea that you have to suffer to get what you want, that moving forward on a different path is going to create a lot of chaos. You're being guided to release the chaos, release the messiness, release the people that always seem to want to argue with you or challenge you. And I feel like wherever you're at right now, like this fork in the road that you have, it feels like it's not really going to be pleasant either way initially. Um, it, but it's like you have to be the one to make the decision. Either way, it's going to be difficult. So would you rather it be difficult because you continue to deal with the same chaos over and over and over again? Or would you rather it be difficult because now you have to start something new and you have to start all over, and you don't have everything you need, and you're going to have to, work a little bit harder? Like, which is going to be more beneficial? Because at least if you're moving in a new direction, you're not being pulled down by all this messiness, right? It's like, I feel like it's like you've considered this long enough. There's no loyalty where you are. It's not loyalty. You're not working together with this person or the situation. It's constantly working against you. So do you want to continue in that kind of energy, or it's almost like you're staying in the situation because you don't want to start over, but the situation that you're in, there's not even a beginning to it because it's just a constant like battle. It's constant fighting for something. Okay, Leo, what is this energy bringing for you? This is asking you to like focus on your sense of belonging, like focus on how you're connecting to your friends, your loved ones, your family, your community. It's like a lot of what you've struggled with is because you don't feel that sense of belonging. When we don't feel connected to people, when we don't feel connected in the right way, when we don't feel like we can be ourselves, we're constantly looking over our shoulder, which means we have to completely hide our authenticity, right? And authenticity is the highest vibration. Authenticity is how you manifest what you want. You're being asked to release the things that you keep having to adapt to. Release the things that make you feel like you have to keep looking over your shoulder. So you can actually connect. It's like, you know how they have that saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Like, I feel like that's bullshit. Like, that's bullshit, because if you hold on to a relationship or a connection or a friendship with somebody that you don't trust and you don't like, and you continue to entertain this because you feel, well, at least if they're connected to me, I know what's going on, that puts you in a space that you're always on guard, right? And that puts you in survival mode without even realizing it. So, and you become the most like the 5 people that you are around the most. And so if half the people you hang around are people that you don't like or that you can't trust, everybody that you're connecting with, you're inviting their energy and their karma into your experience. So you're struggling feeling connected, you're struggling manifesting connection, you're struggling feeling comfort and feeling at ease, but at the same time you're connecting to people or maintaining connections to people that you don't trust. And that's what's keeping you in that space. So if you let go of the people that you can't trust, and I'm hearing specifically, you've outgrown a lot of people, and it's probably a good idea to let that go, because you need to be able to be in a space of being completely authentic, being completely yourself without fear. And you can't do that if you're connected to people that you can't trust. It's very interesting to me that there's a strong Aquarius energy that you're being guided to kind of focus on and work on embodying in some aspect. But Aquarius energy is the complete opposite of you. Leo is energy that is very focused on the self, right? My presence, me being in the spotlight, and that's not a bad energy to be in. But in order to embrace your Leo energy in its authenticity, you also have to understand and be able to embody Aquarius energy at some level, right? So, and I don't mean this to be in a shitty way, but like, it's not always about you. Does that make sense? Like, instead of going, why does this person keep treating me like this? Look at this person's character. Like, it's not always you, it's just maybe their character. Or it's not that they're treating you in a bad way, it's that you're protective of your energy, and that's the energy that's being created, right? So instead of looking at it like on a very personal level, kind of look at the bigger picture of it. And I feel like that's going to help you, because I feel like there's people that you are needing to either release because you can't trust them, or release feeling like you constantly have to be secretive with other people, and be more willing to be your authentic self. Because your authenticity is powerful. Your authenticity is going to be what manifests you like the greatest love story of all. All right. Virgo, what is this energy bringing for you? Inner peace. The focus for you is going to be working on your inner energy, getting your internal energy feeling at peace and at ease, and then dealing with everything that's going on outside of you. What are you being guided to release? I kind of feel like you're being guided to release the day-to-day focus for a little bit, which is, I know that's who you are, right? That's Virgo energy. I feel like you're kind of being guided to get out of your day-to-day routine a little bit, and that's what this full moon might bring you, kind of like things that challenge this day-to-day routine. I have Venus in Virgo, and if something comes at me like unexpectedly, if something comes at me last minute, it really causes me anxiety and it really throws me off. But I've had to learn to kind of master that. Like, I've had to learn to master my energy with that. And I feel like you're kind of being guided with the same thing. you having some sort of day-to-day routine and structure is very important and valuable to you. And I'm not saying that you have to just completely get rid of that altogether, but I do feel that that might be something relevant during this next week, that your routine gets kind of scrambled. But there's a purpose for that for now. You don't have to completely stay out of your routine, but by pulling out of this like intense focus on the day-to-day routine, it's going to help you get a bigger picture and help you focus more on what's going on internally, because you like this energy is bringing you a period of growth, and this period, like this growth period is going to require stepping outside of your comfort zone. This new beginning is going to require you stepping out of your comfort zone. And so get ahead of it by working with that, like by pulling yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit here and there, so it's not such a shock to your system. Because what is coming is a very spiritual connection. You're building a very spiritual connection. You're mastering kind of like your own internal healing, and now this is going to start showing up for you and building a new connection. It kind of feels like you've been hyper focused on yourself, and you've mastered that, and now there's a partner coming in and you have to kind of relearn that, right? I do also feel that there's a lot of truth being brought to the surface for you. A lot of truth about people that you're connected to. Some of that is going to be people that are not necessarily helpful in your journey. Some of them are going to be people that you need to let go of. But this is being shown to you so you can engage in the spiritual connection more without negativity. I also feel like you're being guided during this time to learn to be more direct with people, like being more direct with what your needs are, with your expectations are, not feeling like you have to go around in circles. And then also at the same time, if you're dealing with people who aren't being direct and upfront with you, do what you can to try to get more direct communication with that person. And if they're refusing to do that, then it would be beneficial to kind of pull yourself away from that. Okay, what about Libra? This is going to be an uncomfortable energy for Libra, because Aries energy is the opposite of Libra. Libra wants peace and harmony with everybody, right? Libra wants to connect, and Aries energy wants independence, so it's very kind of conflicting. So what is this energy bringing for you? It's bringing you an opportunity to reevaluate something. Look at the root. Look at the source. It's asking you to examine something examine the roots. Don't just look at the problems. Don't just look at the problem. This full moon is asking you to look at the root of the problem. You know how like if you're suddenly sneezing all the time, right? And it's consistent, and you keep treating the sneezing, right? You keep doing things for the sneezing and not going, okay, something is causing this, right? There's something around me that I'm clearly allergic to, right? When you have any kind of allergic reaction, you're not just going to keep treating the allergic reaction. You're going to find out what you're actually allergic to. And I feel like that's what this full moon is asking of you. Don't just look at what the problem is in front of you. Look at the root of it. Like, what caused this? This is just a symptom. What's the actual illness or problem? What are you being guided to release? Waiting. You're being guided to release feminine energy. And that doesn't mean completely dismiss your feminine energy, but the feminine energy is the energy of receiving. It's the energy of being. It's the energy of flowing. Give me one more. I kind of feel like you're being guided to release the need that the feeling that you have to be perfect. Like a perfect, loyal, no, sorry. Do your desires, is the thing that you're waiting for, is the thing that you're asking for. Do those things line up with your values and your morals? Are you sacrificing your own morals and your own sense of self-respect in order to receive something that you perceive to be as valuable? Because if you have to sacrifice your own morals or your ethics for it, then it's not really worth it, right? Give me one more, what you're being guided to release. It's like I feel like you're being guided to release, like, you need to speak your truth. You need to release, like, constantly accepting this or allowing it in hopes that it will get better. You need to let go of the idea that being a loving person means that you have to be patient through somebody else's mistreatment of you. Let go of waiting for somebody to get it. Let go of waiting for somebody to pick up the cues. Let go of giving people the benefit of the doubt when they've shown you otherwise. Yeah, because I feel like it's like you're wanting more value in your life. You're wanting to see deeper commitments. You're wanting to see a stronger connection in your relationship. But I also feel like you have to be mindful of the cycle that has continuously repeated itself, because you're playing a role in this. And you have to kind of like approach it in a different way. And I feel like it's by looking at the root cause of everything, like what really is going on. Give me a little bit more. What is this energy that you're dealing with? The same cycle over and over and over. You're putting all this value and dedication in, but you're not feeling supported. You're not getting that value reflected back to you. And so you have to kind of reevaluate, like, is this really what you want, and why do you want this? Like, go back to the root of why you want this, and why you believe that wanting what you want and pursuing what you want also means that you have to sacrifice yourself in some way. Okay, Scorpio. What is this energy bringing for you? Secrets. Secret communication. I feel like it's like secret agreements. Secret contracts. It's some sort of cycle of like half truths or half-assed communication or passive aggressive communication, whether that's you or people that you deal with. But it's putting emphasis on how your communication and your communication with others is playing a role in how much communication is playing a role in the cycles that keep repeating. Because it's like the communication is in a controlled way or something, or in a passive aggressive way, and it deviates from the truth, and it deviates from the value of things. Let me see if I can get more on what this is. Yeah, there's something in the way that things are communicated within a cycle that you keep seeing. It's like 1 minute it's very lighthearted, and then the next minute it's like very forceful. It's almost like you might not realize that the way that you're communicating your ideas is coming across like two different ways. It either comes across as like whatever, like in a very lighthearted way, like in a way that gives people the impression that you're not taking yourself seriously, or it comes off the complete opposite way, like it's very aggressive, like how come you're not understanding me? And I feel like you're seeing that cycle repeat. Like you try to approach things in a very nurturing way, in a very sweet way, in a very lighthearted way, and people don't get it, right? It's and then you end up getting frustrated, and it's like very aggressive. And so it's like it's highlighting to you, like asking yourself how you can communicate yourself, communicate your ideas, communicate in a way that is completely expressing your values and your authenticity and reflects that you have respect for yourself. Because I feel like there might be times that you're trying not to come across the wrong way to other people. You're trying not to make people uncomfortable in the way that you communicate. And so you kind of communicate in a more lighthearted way, but then people misread that as you don't take yourself seriously, right? And then that kind of builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. I also feel like it's showing up also with people that you need to put boundaries up with. If somebody's not taking your boundaries seriously, you need to be more assertive with those boundaries and very direct with your communication about what those boundaries are. And when they continue to disrespect it, then they don't deserve access to you. So what are you being guided to release? release the mask. So it's like, it feels like communication. It feels like trying to be careful with what you're saying, or even like on the opposite end of that, like you can intuitively read people very well. And so it's very likely that if someone says one thing, but you know that they feel something else, you'll tend to go by what they're not saying. But when you move based on what you believe a person to be and not what they're showing you, you just keep yourself stuck in a cycle. And so you're being, there's like a strong message to get out of like hiding behind communication, or hiding behind delicate communication. Does that make sense? Like, you don't have to filter what you're saying. Give me a little bit more. What are you being guided to release? Yeah, it's like trying to, worrying about being seen in a certain light by other people. And so with that, you're, like I said, like you try to approach things in a very lighthearted way, and then people don't take you seriously, and then you get upset because people aren't taking you seriously. Just show who you are, and if people don't like it, people don't like it. Because what you're receiving in this cycle is more valuable commitments, more solid commitments, more authentic connections. But you need to free yourself from the passive aggressive communication, however that shows up for you. Whether it's, you know that somebody's passively aggressively communicating with you, or you feel that you have to soften what you say with other people, but it's like it's asking you to get rid of the passive aggressive communication. Okay, Sagittarius, what is this full moon bringing? It's bringing you a very abrupt change. Something that you have been uncertain about, something that has been very cloudy. It's just all of a sudden, and I kind of feel like it's going to be like on the 10th. It's all of a sudden everything's going to be made very clear to you, and it's like the fog is gone. Like, it's bringing you a very abrupt ending to a negative cycle, not something positive. I also feel like you're being guided to let go of innocence, let go of waiting, let go of waiting for things to change, or waiting for your opportunity to come in, or waiting for things to get better. Start moving in the direction of what is in alignment with you. If it's not in alignment with you, let it be, right? Start moving in the direction of what you want, and that's when you're going to see that very drastic change. Let go of the energy of waiting. Because I feel like what Spirit is gifting you during this period is a lot of impatience. But I feel like that's to your benefit. Because I feel like you're tired of waiting. You're tired of being patient with people. You're tired of waiting for things to get better. You're tired of hoping for things to get better, right? And it's like it's no longer serving you. And so you're taking it upon yourself to do whatever you can do to move in alignment towards what you want. So, for example, if you're waiting for somebody to commit to you and they're just continuously not committing, then you take it upon yourself to commit to yourself, right? And when you commit to yourself, you realize, I'm not going to wait for somebody to see my value. I'm going to make myself a priority. And when you start making yourself a priority, then you realize that people are going to match that energy. Okay, what about Capricorn? This full moon is like bringing you like a second chance. It's bringing you like risky opportunities. Like this is the complete opposite of your energy, and that's what I'm noticing in these readings, that most people are being brought with this energy, the complete opposite of what they're comfortable with. So it must be an energy to push us out of our comfort zone. So you're like a very structured, by the book kind of energy, and that's good. That's, you know, that serves you. That's valuable. That's grounding, right? But what this full moon energy is bringing you is more of that kind of like, you don't always have to play by the rules, right? This is kind of like taking chances, taking a risk. And I'm not saying like a toxic risk, obviously, but it's like, it's a chance to kind of try your luck, test your luck. And I honestly feel like by taking your chances, by taking a chance on something, you are going to, it's like you're really going to it's really going to show you how wonderful the universe really is. How magical the universe really is. Like for Capricorn, I imagine it's probably really difficult to really connect to that energy of like faith and like the spiritual energy of everything, right? Because you're a very structured person, and I feel like that's what this energy is bringing you. Like, yes, we honor your structure, and that's valuable, and you don't have to get rid of that, but hey, there's a little bit of magic here too. Like, that's what you're being gifted with during this full moon. What are you being guided to release? That's really funny. It's like you're being gifted, like what the energy is bringing you is something very seemingly fated, right? Seemingly like a random opportunity, right? A chance to try your luck, right? But what the universe wants you to see in that is that it's not luck. That's the laws of the universe. Like it isn't just a lucky break. It's because you lined up with these synchronicities, and this is really something that is very much meant for you. Like it's kind of like this energy is bringing you a lot of coincidences, but also wanting you to know this isn't just a coincidence. Like there's something very special to this. The universe, it's like it's showing you, I really like this, it's showing you that the universe is this magical, mystical kind of space. And it is like all this woohoo, like, you know, blessings and abundance. But the universe does work in a very structured way. So it's like, even though it doesn't look like you in the physical sense, the universe very much works in divine law, right? And so it's really cool. It's like it's bringing you fate and blessings and random coincidences, but also saying, let go of the idea that this is just some random coincidence. And like, it's like, oh, what is that saying? When are you going to stop calling it fate and realize that it's your divine purpose? I know that's not the saying at all, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Like, how many times does a coincidence have to occur before you realize it's not just a random moment and it's something that's meant to be? Yeah, it's like I feel like there's a lot of activity going on for you. There's a lot coming up. There's a lot of change. I do feel, it's like I feel like you might even be put in a position where you have to kind of rely on fate or take your chances or something like that. But it's like it's showing you how resilient you are. It's showing you how powerful you are. It's also showing you like it's showing you how much the universe and God and your guides are at play in every single thing that happens in your life. It's a really cool, it's a really cool message. It's like there's a lot coming in for you and it might feel overwhelming, but it's all energy meant to get you in alignment with abundance and fulfillment. Like it's very like it's controlled chaos, or it's controlled random moments by the universe that aren't really controlled. Okay, so what about Aquarius? Aw, that's Aquarius energy. So it's like this full moon is connecting to you, to yourself, to your authenticity, to your purpose. It's giving you, there's something going on. It's like it's giving you the freedom to be yourself, or the confidence to be able to be yourself, or something like that. It's like it's putting you in a position to completely like speak your mind, speak your vision, speak your perspective of things, speak on your faith or something like that. And it's normally something that you would feel wouldn't be accepted, but it's like it's putting you in this space with the right people at the right time. It's like very divinely connected. I don't know why I said it like that, sorry. It's like this full moon is bringing you your wish fulfillment. Whoa. Something that you've been asking for a long time. What are you being guided to release? Control. Let go of control. I feel like that message came up in that end of September reading. You're also being guided to let go of self-sabotage. And I feel like the self-sabotage energy is by trying to control how things are moving. I highly recommend watching the Aquarius end of September reading, because I went into detail on that. Because it's not that you're a controlling person, it's that we have a tendency to try to control our blessings or our opportunities more than we realize, just by our thoughts. And so you're being guided to like just completely surrender and trust that whatever it is that you've been asking for, that's what this full moon is bringing, when you completely surrender. And one way of showing that you have completely surrendered is that you are walking in faith, and you are walking in a space where you're completely authentic to who you are. Because this is bringing you a man. No, I'm just kidding. Like this full moon is literally connecting you to your purpose. It's connecting you to your path in a really, really powerful way. It's actually empowering you. It's actually amplifying your masculine energy, but the way to go about it is by releasing control and really going to the depths and making a wish, because it's literally granting your wishes. I like that. All right, Pisces. What is this energy bringing for you? Same thing, Star card, wish fulfillment. You're getting some sort of wish fulfillment. You're getting some sort of blessing. This full moon is also really showing you how connected you are, how divinely connected you are. I feel like for some of you, you might be noticing like how intuitive you are. You might even be getting a lot of like intuitive hits. What are you being guided to release? I kind of feel like you're being guided to let go of talking for a little bit. And that doesn't mean you have to be completely silent. But let go of like overly communicating or overthinking and pay attention to your intuition. I've listened to a lot of different teachings on how powerful silence is. And not to say that you have to like always remain silent, obviously, but that we don't need to use as many words as we think that we do, and that sometimes silence is necessary to kind of let things settle. But like silence is a really powerful thing. And again, that's not to say that you can't speak. And it's not to say that you should silence yourself when there's something really important that needs to be communicated, right? But at the same time, like, my mom, me and my mom never got along. Like, I really genuinely, and I don't say this in a negative way, but I really don't think that she ever liked me. Like, I'm the complete opposite of her, right? But she would call me every day when I was growing up, when I moved out for 10 years at least. Every day we would talk on the phone for 2 to 4 hours. But there was no value to it. She just gossiped about everybody. She just talked to hear herself talk, right? And I used to feel like if she was calling me every day, she must love me and she must care about me, right? But I realized she just wanted somebody to gossip to. She just enjoyed gossiping, and everything that was being talked about, like, there was no value to it at all. And so communication's not everything. Do you know what I mean? If it's gossipy communication, if it's negative communication, if it's negative thoughts, it's not serving any purpose other than to pull your energy down, right? And so you're kind of being guided to let go of the unnecessary conversations, and not just unnecessary conversations with people outside of you, but like those internal unnecessary conversations. You don't need to keep telling yourself what a failure you are, right? You don't need to replay that same negative event over and over and over again, because it's not serving a purpose, right? It's not helping you figure it out. So it's like, get rid of the unnecessary chatter so you can really see what the divine is trying to communicate to you. Because what the divine is trying to communicate to you is your purpose, your value, your purpose in this world, what you're meant to, the abundance that you're meant to receive, the abundance that is your birthright. Because I kind of feel like you have felt very disconnected. And the more you talk to people, the more disconnected and isolated you feel. because you probably feel like you're not like other people, but you're not supposed to be like other people. You're not supposed to fit in alignment with these people because you have a bigger purpose. You're meant to be a leader. You're meant to be abundant. And just for the record, if you're wanting to manifest abundance and you're connected to low vibration people or toxic people, those people are going to block your blessings. They're going to block your ability to receive abundance. They're going to block all of that shit. Let me just get a little bit more. Any other messages with this full moon? Yeah, walk away from the people that argue just for the sake of arguing. Walk away from the people that are never satisfied. Walk away from the people that are always picking at something, right? Or always getting you in your head. You've been dealing with whatever this is for a while, and what you're kind of being shown is the minute you let go of what's creating all of that noise, you'll be exactly where you need to be. Love you guys. Bye-bye.